A lot of times I get asked, they're like, hey, why did you guys pick OneDigital? As Corum Hall said, it was, I came along in 2014, bought in with my partner Ted, who was in the process of buying his dad out. And the company itself has started in 1924. Now there's not been a Crum or a Halstead around forever. And his dad had bought it in 1989. Ted and I, interesting story. We were both at Northern Illinois University. I'm a Sigma Chi, and he was a Lambda Chi. So our houses were kind of kitty corner to each other. And we were there at the same time, crossed over by a couple years, but never met each other. And came along down the road, 20 something years in the business. I had someone who knew Ted, said, you got to meet this guy. And one thing led to another. We became partners. And so what people always ask, they go, okay, well, you guys are partners. Why did you pick OneDigital? Why did you sell out? Well, I said, look, I remember if we go back to the days in the 90s when I first got into business. Yes, I'm dating myself, so don't calculate that out. But back in the 90s, I was in a health insurance business. So I was a health insurance broker back then. I remember I'm the new on the block, and there was these guys that I always ran into. I worked in Park Ridge, an American insurance agency in Park Ridge, and there were these guys from the Linden Group, who was another benefits-only broker, always running in. We're with the Linden Group. They're great. We don't need to talk to you, right? Okay, who are these guys in the Linden Group? Well, I started to get to know these guys. And throughout the years, then I transferred over from doing the health insurance. Still do that a little bit, but I also mostly do the commercial property liability workers' comp. And once I started doing that, we started working out a deal where they were still doing benefits. They refer over their commercial insurance business. We cut them back some of the commission. It was a great agreement. Great deal, great agreement we had in place. Well, they decided to sell to OneDigital. And then the OneDigital guys started talking to us about becoming a OneDigital company. I remember going, no. I haven't had a boss now in I don't know how many years, and I don't want one. No, they're very persistent. And 5 years ago, they got in the commercial insurance arena. We were still doing the cross referrals and all that with OneDigital, and they got into it. And when they got into commercial insurance, they said, look, we can't send you any more leads. You can keep what you have, but we can't send any more leads. I go, oh, that's the hammer. That's the hard ball right there, right? You're not gonna give any more referrals. And but it didn't matter. We kept the business. We still didn't want to do it. Talk to them here and there every 6 months. They give us a call. We kept saying, no, we're putting you off. And then, the advent of all the big brokers, we're always getting calls by all the big boys, all calling us. And we know people that sold to them. We know what turns into and what happens. And so the biggest thing is, OneDigital always pitched us on culture. Hey, we got the greatest culture. Okay, I know that's what everyone else said too, right? We got the greatest culture, and we want you guys to become part of our, okay, whatever. But I was invited to their annual summit when they were here in Chicago, so I went on that one day. And I remember when I was out there the one day for their summit meeting, they're like, hey, we're gonna sit you down. So we got a guest speaker today. I'm there for lunch. So they put me up by the stage, and we're sitting at a table up by the stage, and who walks out? Coach K from Duke, right? And I go, okay, it is a total setup. You guys just set me up on this. But what I observed in that meeting, in that luncheon, was people receiving awards and getting promotions, and everybody was truly happy for each other in that room. It's not nobody rolling their eyes like, oh my God, they got a promotion, whatever it was, right? It was a bunch of people in the room who were all truly happy for each other and promoting each other and picking each other up. And so that was when I told, my partner Ty, I said, look, I think we need to talk to these guys because this is what I witnessed in this room. And it comes down to our core values and my core values and what we learned with the Cal's Angels about giving back and helping others, charity work and all that. I mean, it just fed right into what our main goal and what we were trying to accomplish. And I said the culture is what they say it is. It's not not smoke and mirrors or not making things up. And so we started talking to them, and some of the things we told them, we said, look, we don't want it where we come on board and then you fire everybody. No, you're not going to fire everybody. You're not going to do all that. So like, no, we're not looking to change anything you do. we're looking to actually utilize what you do, because you're the first ones, especially in the Chicagoland area and all the way up into Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan. We just need what you have. So we're not going to change it. We're actually going to bolster it. And that's what they've done, and they've held true to it. And it's the best decision we made. And I remember talking to clients when I first told them, especially clients that had been with small brokers, sold to a big broker, and then they get thrown into the pool, right? They get small business unit. They're like, I don't have a contact anymore. No one comes to see me. And this could be people upwards of paying $200,000 for their commercial insurance, and they're in a house account division where they have claims at whatever, info at whatever, I call the next person in the queue is going to pick up and help you. Well, that's not what we're about. And customers, now that we've been doing this almost 2 years, they're like, okay, I was very concerned about it because I had been with XYZ company. They sold the other guys, and I just lost all contact, never had service again. And I was concerned that was going to happen with you guys. But you know what? It's actually gotten better, because now with OneDigital, we have national resources, we have national access, we have offices pretty much in every single state, and we can service clients in every single state. Over 500 insurance contracts. We have a 401k division, we have wealth management, we have HR consulting, we have employee benefits division, which we always had, but now it's like an employee benefits division on steroids. Commercial insurance on steroids again. So we have all this access, and like I said, that's what makes OneDigital different than the other big brokers, because we are still allowed to act as a small broker. We have clients that we still have service that pay $500 for their insurance. Yes, we do have clients that pay a couple $1 million for their insurance. We have them all across the whole spectrum. And then even further up, other OneDigital offices have Fortune 500 companies on their books. One of them is a Fortune 100 company. So, we have the whole access. You go on the OneDigital website, tell me any other big broker on their website talks about helping individuals, wealth management. We have a Medicare division down at the Sears, the old Sears Tower. Now they call it the Willis Tower. But we have 600 people down there helping people enroll in Medicare, getting Medicare supplements. We have a guy in the office that does individual health insurance. We have guys in our office that do individual, and that's what we still do. They've not created a small unit division where everybody takes all the small business, throws it in. It's still operating like we have and taking care of every single customer, no matter if they pay $50 or they pay $50 million. Every single customer receives the same level of service and is treated equally. And that is why we made that decision to become a OneDigital company.